Hello, my name is Greg Parker, and we are going to talk about the fundamental issue of posture. But before we relate it to kayaking, let's first learn about our spine. To do this, we will first separate our spine into two parts. The lower spine will include our low back and pelvis, and the upper spine will include our upper back and neck. Sit upright in a chair and tilt your head up to look at the ceiling. You should feel your upper spine arching back in a C shape. Now look down at the floor and you should feel your upper spine curving downward in a C shape the opposite direction. Do this nodding motion a few times and notice how it feels. Pay attention to how your spine is moving. Now return to a neutral position and then arch your lower spine so you tilt backwards. And then bring it forwards. Do this motion a few times and notice how it feels. Pay attention to your spine as it extends back to make a C shape and then flexes forward to make a C shape in the opposite direction. Now we've moved our upper spine and our lower spine independently. Let's put them together. Start by tilting your head back to look at the ceiling, but keep going. Notice how your low back wants to arch as well to give you more range of motion. Reverse this motion by tilting your head down to look between your toes. Notice how your lower spine is also going to flex forward to increase your range of motion. Do this whole spine motion of extending back and flexing forward a few times. Notice how your spine wants to work together. It wants to be in a C shape, all extending back or all extending forward. Comparisons can be very powerful, so let's compare that more comfortable C shape to a less comfortable S shape. Start by tilting your head forward to look between your feet. Then arch your low back backwards. Your spine is now in an S shape, with your low spine curving backwards and your upper spine curving forwards. This S-shaped position probably feels less comfortable. Let's reverse this position. Return to neutral. Tilt your head up to look at the ceiling. And then flex your lower back forward. Again, you're in an S shape with your low spine flexing forward and your upper spine extending backwards. Move between these S shapes a few times and notice that these positions are not very comfortable and feel kind of awkward. So far, we've been exploring how our spine can bend in a C shape or S shape, forwards and backwards. It can also move in those ways side to side. Start by laying down on your side. Reach your top arm over your head and hold on near your opposite ear. Lift your head up off the ground and notice how much effort it takes to hold this position. Let your head come back down. Now lift your upper leg up off the ground and hold this position. Notice how much effort it takes. If you hold it long enough, you'll probably really feel it in your hip. In both of those positions, we were kinda close to an S. But let's make a C shape with our whole spine. This time, pick up your head and your leg at the same time. Repeat this motion a few times and notice that it's more comfortable or more natural to pick your head and your leg up at the same time. That's because my whole spine is now moving into a C shape. We've spent a long time now exploring how our spine can move in C and S shapes. But how does that apply to kayaking? Let's find out. In this rolling example, notice how easy it is to roll a kayak when I allow my spine to go into a complete C shape. In contrast, notice how difficult it is to roll a kayak when I try to pick my head up, forcing my spine into this rigid S shape. If you've ever heard anyone say, keep your head down when rolling, they're really talking about keeping your spine in a C shape. Now let's look at a more advanced example. In this video, you see Dane doing a huge McNasty. Notice how his spine is in a C shape as his boat is popping up out of the water. In this second example, you see me doing a much smaller McNasty. Notice that my spine is more in an S shape as opposed to a C shape. And as a result, my McNasty is much lower. I've provided you with 2 examples of how this spine posture can affect our boating. But now it's your job to get in your kayak and find more ways to apply this knowledge.